something that really surprised me when I was doing my research is that there's a very commonly understood perception of your emotions that aren't taught in school, and I really feel like they should be. But it's your core and inhibitory sides to your emotions. The core side is your like base emotions, the reactionary emotions, the instinctual emotions, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Fear, anger, disgust, joy, excitement, and sexual excitement. Cheek, you know all about that one. Those are all hardwired in our bodies via evolution. They're necessary. They're there for a reason. And then there's the inhibitory emotions, which are anxiety, shame, guilt. Those are all learned socially. They get in the way of feeling your normal emotions. And so when you kind of view your emotions in those two ways, and I know that this might seem out of context of what we were talking about before, but I want to rope this kind of into understanding yourself and not just saying something I'm doing is wrong because I don't have enough to do it. Like I'm sad because I'm not tough enough, or I'm not doing well because I didn't do enough, that sort of thing. I want to kind of fringe away from that and find a balance at this point. So understanding that core and inhibitory, am I saying that word as far as you can read it? Yeah. I want to get that out of the way. And and a lot of people claim, I mean, the core and inhibitory theory is pretty solid. It's pretty understood that these are two sides of your emotions. And a lot of people say when you get largely rid of your inhibitory thinking, like the things that you say, oh, maybe someone won't like this, or one of the examples I read is like 4-year-old Jimmy loses his toy and cries, and the dad says, you piece of shit, you shouldn't be crying, man up, that kind of thing. Then that's what that kind of ingrains in little 4-year-old Jimmy's head, that maybe 30 years down the road, instead of this is a slippery slope, but it is an example of how people deal with their emotions. But 40 years down the road, little Jimmy Slimtown is gonna be like, I don't want to deal with these sad emotions. I want to, like, how do I cope with it? And it's drugs, alcohol, or just pushing it down, causing more stress, giving you that garlic knot in the back of your head. So I wanted to talk about moving forward and keeping that in mind, the healthy sides. But the healthy side, as I view it, of kind of the David Goggins, Wim Hof message. And not to say that they're bad, but what I think people should take from it that is applicable to our world. Because a lot of the times I read those and I hear those videos of Wim Hof or David Goggins, and I get super pumped up, and I do the AJ method where like I get super pumped up. I want to do something, and then it's like, where do I go from there? And I think there's this disconnect where like, yeah, you're pumped up, you're motivated, but you still don't have the tools to deal with your environment the way that David Goggins developed his tools. And so maybe it's better to give you the tools rather than the blueprints in this case, so that you can kind of deal with it on your own. And the first way I want to approach dealing with this is visualization. When I wrote this word down, the first thing I thought of was vision boards, but that's more in the goal setting area. But so I'm going to move on past that. The mindfulness meditation integrative body. A guy named Mike Posner made this. It's basically mind training, and don't get this confused with Bow Chicka Wow Wow Mike Posner, or Cooler Than Me Mike Posner. This guy's a doctor. Mindfulness meditation integrative body. That's mind training. It's basically mindfulness through meditation. We've actually talked about this in a previous episode. I don't know if you guys remember. I don't know if our listeners remember. Go back for more in-depth talk about this, but this is concrete science. This is not alternative medicine anymore. Mindfulness and meditation is when you sit down. The process is sitting down, focusing on something internal, like your breath, feeling your breath, giving yourself 3 minutes, 5 minutes, however much time you have time just to focus on that inside of you, and then bring that outside of you, focus on the things outside and perceive them without attachment. So it basically works on your focus. It works on your anxiety, less stress, reduce symptoms of like pain, facilitates recovery, depression, improve general health, which includes weight loss and blood pressure. And these aren't guaranteed things. So like, I don't want to sound like a doctor here, but these are, I don't know. I think a lot of people perceive like, oh, let's do the Wim Hof method and it will be a miracle. We do this and just by random factor, I can withstand cold and I can do anything. And I have this mindset. But the science behind this is that you are reducing the blood pressure thing is that you're reducing stress when you learn to focus and let non-physical attachments pass by, or non-physical attachments just pass by you without judgment. Weight loss comes from being able to control your desires and not necessarily eating as much on impulse and being able to focus on your goals. And this kind of all plays into the idea of neuroplasticity, which is the ability to train your brain and have it shift and adapt. And this can be affected by meditation.